Lately, I've been feeling really doubtful and lonely because I took this path of ambition that requires me to sacrifice everything in order to be successful. And I don't really have anybody else to talk to about this because my entire family, they took the traditional route of working a 9 to 5 and saving 40, 50 years until retirement. But this is what I wanted. I used to be that corporate guy that climbed the ladder, but that didn't feel right either because I always had dreams and bigger aspirations to do something for myself, like start a business. But now that I've seen this side of entrepreneurship, it's not as pretty as people make it seem to be, especially in the beginning because you're always going against the grain. Your family and friends are going to work in the office, you're going to the coffee shop to do your work. Your family and friends are getting together for dinner. What are you doing? You're researching, filming, you're editing, you're doing something that's related to your work. Because you haven't seen any results yet, you continue to work yourself to exhaustion because you don't feel that you deserve free time since you didn't get any monetary value to deserve it. You see how toxic that can be? So in today's video, I will go through all the symptoms that you will get from taking this path of ambition because nobody really talks about the dark truth from it. The first thing I wanted to talk about is how ambition makes you doubt yourself. When you're on the journey of ambition, there's this little fucker called self-doubt. This guy, man, this demon, he's my best friend. He's my best friend and my biggest enemy, okay? Because I fuck with him all the time, but he fucks with me more. And this guy, self-doubt, this little gremlin, he comes in the worst possible times that he can come at. You're seeing no results, he plays on your weaknesses, and he knows how to question your every move. No matter how well I've done, no matter how far I've come, self-doubt is there to fucking cripple me at my core. It tells me I'm not good enough. Why are you wasting your time? Your videos are terrible. Nobody wants to watch you. Don't you see that you're failing over and over again? Because self-doubt tells me all of these things every week, that's how I know I must continue and persevere through it no matter what. Even on those days that my mental health is shit, when I wake up and I'm just feeling terrible, I still get up and I do my duty as a human being because that's what it means. I wish I can give you a perfect solution to deal with self-doubt, but the only solution is to take one more step forward. So every time I feel resistance, every time I want to stop, I ask myself one question: Isa, can you take one more step? And the answer is always yes. Always yes. No matter how tired I get, no matter how much self-doubt cripples me, I can always take one more step. So I get up every day with that chip on my shoulder and I continue to take another step because we have no other choice. That's the beautiful thing about life. It's always testing us. We're always being put in situations that demand complete effort and awareness to ignore resistance and make the right choices because that is what a professional does. Steven Pressfield from The War of Art says, fear doesn't go away. The warrior and the artist live by the same code of necessity, which dictates that the battle must be fought anew every day. War is within you, and it will continue to be fought every single day of your life. It's winning that battle 80% of the time that keeps you winning the war. It's okay to have those days where you relax and recharge, as long as you only do it 20% of the time. Because that is what's required of you from a professional. That is the price we pay with ambition in this path of loneliness. Remember, a professional always shows up even when they don't want to. The second thing I wanted to talk about is how ambition takes away your balance. If you have any business of some sort, then you know balance is some BS that was sold to us by society to keep us mediocre. Because it requires us to sacrifice literally everything and dedicate the next 5, 6, 7, 10 years of our life to make something work for us. We have to build the foundation and make everything support our system. Whether you're in content creation, lead generation, e-commerce, whatever it is, you know you have to dedicate so much time, the next 5 years minimum, to make this work. And on top of that, you're not gonna see any results for years. Usually when you do a job, you're used to getting paid for the hours you work. In business, you do years and years of work and don't see a single dime. And the worst thing about this is that nobody understands why you're doing this. They see you grinding and struggling and sacrificing for zero results. In their heads, you're crazy for doing this. Like, why would you even consider this? And honestly, they're right. We are crazy. We're crazy for doing this. But the reason they don't understand is because they're operating on a whole other system of finance, of work, of a system. And honestly, I envy that they're fulfilled in the system because I'm not. No, my fucked up brain wants to be lonely. It's self-imposed. It's coming from a deep desire in me to prove to myself that I can succeed. And I'd be lying if my ego had nothing to do with it. Because our egos work against us every day and makes us feel doubtful, makes us feel lonely, tells us to go back to the path we didn't want. And sometimes, bro, it actually doesn't make any sense why I'm doing this. Because I work so hard to be able to change the lives around me, while I continue to take this burden of loneliness even though it was all to have more free time with the people that I love. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you see how ironic that is? But if you're ambitious, then maybe you understand where I'm coming from. My balance scale is tipped in literally every direction. It's never leveled. I'm always jacked up in some way on this path. Even when I'm enjoying the journey and feeling peace in it, it just comes out of nowhere and it haunts me. It's like I can never be in that safe zone. I'm never safe. It's always coming for me. The only way I've been able to stay sane with all this is to have one day of the week where I spend with my girl and very close family members to make me feel supported and loved and whatever, you know, all that soft shit. But what's funny is that in the future, when I get more clients and work starts to come in, I'm probably gonna have to sacrifice those days as well, which is kind of sad. So all you can do is build that foundation, trusting in the back of your head that this is all for a better future. And if you go back to that corporate job you once had, yes, you might feel security, but you will feel regretful and empty. And honestly, I think that's way worse. You never gave it your all, your 100%. And that's something that I just can't live with. I can't live with that. The last thing I wanted to talk about was dealing with this ambition and loneliness. So if you're hearing all of this and you still want to be an entrepreneur, then chances are you're probably going to be successful. You're probably going to eventually make it. But if you're hearing all this and you're getting turned off, then it's probably not the life for you. So for those of you who did make it this far into the video, I have some gems for you to deal with loneliness and ambition. The first thing you need is courage. You need to have the courage to go through life every day knowing that you're gonna fail. You need to have the courage to face all those haters that are gonna use you as a punching bag. You're gonna have the courage to face your demons, especially when you don't want to. To have the courage to stand up to people who are keeping you from reaching your dreams. And how do we build courage? By facing our fears. And how do we face our fears? By letting go and feeling vulnerable to it. By accepting the pain and enduring it for what it is. It's like taking a cold shower. The harder you fight it, the worse the experience is gonna be. But if you just like let go and sacrifice your body to that cold water, it actually becomes so much easier to take that experience. So practice courage by doing challenging things so that your mind and body gets used to it. Get a daily resilience practice of some sort, whether that's meditating, taking a cold plunge, working out. Just do something challenging for yourself. For me, I personally like to go on long runs because I think that is the best way to go against resistance. Every ounce of my body is telling me to stop. And when I tell myself, Isa, can you take one more step? The answer is always yes. So that's how I battle my resistance, by going on long runs. So find something that will equip you with the mental toughness to face your fears while you're lonely. The second thing you can do that nobody talks about is building a strong case that supports you. So think about it like this. You know how lawyers go up against each other in the courtroom and they each have their own case that they present? Well, whenever you tell yourself something negative, you're only allowing one lawyer to present the case of negativity, of self-doubt, of why you can't make it, all these different things. But you're actually not testing that lawyer by bringing in the other side, the other positive side. So how do you do this? Well, the Stoics and Epictetus will tell us to test our impressions. So Epictetus, he was a Stoic philosopher 2,000 years ago, and he once said, first off, don't let the force of the impression carry you away. Say to it, hold up a bit and let me see who you are and where you are from, and let me put you to the test. What this basically means is whenever you get an impression that enters your head, such as, Isa, you're not good enough, put that to the test by having a rational response to it. So let's say I feel doubtful about myself. I'll get my journal out, my daily Stoic. And the rational response to that would be, Isa, you're not good enough because it takes patience and time to develop the skills you need in order to become a master. So you do this with every negative impression that comes into your head, and eventually you build a case and a strong lawyer on the other side of your head. Now that is a positive feedback loop instead of a negative one. This is also called cognitive behavioral therapy, which they got from Stoicism, the philosophy that I follow. So this is a very, very crucial practice that I use to keep me sane. The last thing you can do, which I think is the number one best thing for your path of loneliness, is to actually pay someone, a coach or mentor, who is in the same field as you and is already successful at what you are doing, to teach you the principles of success, because they understand exactly what you're going through. They know the journey, they know how long it takes, they know the principles of success. And since they are successful themselves, just being around them will rejuvenate your energy. I can't tell you how many times I'm feeling down and I have a call with my coach, Captain Sinbad, and I just come out of it ready to run a marathon. I get so rejuvenated, all my energy back, because he is reassuring me that I'm doing the right things. And even though I know what I'm doing is right, even though I know what I should be doing. Just having a coach that you pay, that you're committed to, that reassurance will just help you continue going on that journey. Remember that your ambition will continue to make you lonely no matter what you do, but I truly believe you will be able to get through it if you just practice the principles I spoke about in this video. So believe in yourself even if you don't want to. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next week.